All right, next up for transformations is dilations. That's your topic today. A dilation is an enlargement or reduction of the figure, right? So in other words, basically we're going to make the pre-image bigger or we're going to make the pre-image smaller according to what's called a scale factor. And this will indicate how much the figure will enlarge or reduce. The variable for the scale factor that we are going to use is going to be a k. In two cases, when the k is greater than 1, that is going to be an enlargement. When k is less than 1, that is going to be a reduction. So the front page here, I'll give you an example of an enlargement and I'll give you an example of a reduction. But just like always, go ahead and grab the original points first, then we'll check out the scale factor and see what that does to the pre-image. All right, R is back 5, up 1. S is back 3, up 4. T is over 2, down 1. And we'll connect those original points. Nice little triangle. All right, second step. Look to see what your scale factor is. In this case, the k is a 2. And since k is bigger than 1, we know that our figure is going to be an enlargement. And to figure out the new points, we just have to multiply the original points by the scale factor. So for r, I'm going to multiply both these points by 2, and that'll be the new r prime. So if I multiply negative 5, 1 by 2, I get negative 10, 2. Negative 3, 4 is negative 6, 8. And 2, negative 1 multiplied by 2 is 4, negative 2. Graph the new points. R prime is back 10, up 2. S prime is back 6, up 8. And T prime is over 4, down 2. Connect the new points. And sure enough, our image got a lot bigger than our pre-image. So this is an example of an enlargement. Skip down to number 3. Once again, go ahead and graph those original points. J is back 10, up 2. K is back 2, up 8. L is over 6, up 2. And M is back 2, down 4. Connect your points. Step 2, look for the scale factor. In this case, your scale factor is a half. And since a half is less than 1, that is going to be a reduction. Just like before, you have to multiply each of your ordered pairs by a half. Multiply by half or divide by 2 is the same thing. So if I multiply negative 10, 2 by a half, that becomes negative 5, 1. Negative 2, 8 multiplied by a half each becomes negative 1, 4. 6, 2 multiplied by a half is 3, 1. And negative 2, negative 4 multiplied by 1 half or divided by 2, same thing. Negative 1, negative 2. Now, since this is a reduction, the new quadrilateral should be inside of here somewhere. So it's kind of like a little self-check. So let's graph the points. J prime, back 5, up 1. K prime, over back 1, up 4. L prime, over 3, up 1. And M prime is back 1, down 2. And it looks like we did it correct. The image is definitely inside of the pre-image. So this was an example of a reduction. To the back page. Let's take a look at numbers 11 and 12. Numbers 3 through 10 is basically the same stuff. They just want you to apply the scale factor to the order pairs and put the new points in the graph. You can check those with the notes and the key on Google Classroom. Let's take a look at 11 and 12. These are examples where you have both the pre-image and the image already graphed for you. Our job is to identify the scale factor below, right? So pick a point. Doesn't matter which point you pick. I'm going to pick the point D, which is a pre-image point, and I'm going to pick D prime, which is the image point. Now I got to figure out where these points are located at. All right, so for D is located over 0, up 6, and D prime is located over 0, up 2. Now, to figure out the scale factor, let's call it K. You take the new points and you divide by the original points. So if I look at my points here, well, I can't do much with the zeros, right? But if I take the new point from D prime and I divide that by the old point from D, that will give me the scale factor. So the new point is 2, the old point is 6, and I can reduce that to 1/3, which is my scale factor. Just remember, take the new points, divide by the original or the old points. It's all the same thing. Let's work with the point W. So remember, W is a pre-image, W prime is the image. Locate where both those points are at. W is back 2, up 2. And W prime is back 8, up 8. New points divide by old points. Now, you can pick either the X's or you can pick the Y's. It does not matter. On number 11, I had to pick the Y's because both X's were 0. That wasn't going to help us out. But 12, you got two choices. Either work with the X's or work with the Y's. It does not matter. I'll work with the Y's to be consistent. I'm going to take the new point, which would be 8, divide that by the old point, which is 2, and 8 over 2 reduces to 4, and that is your scale factor. So that's how you figure out a scale factor given the pre-image and image already graphed for you. That's it for translations.